at least 26 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli airstrikes on the southern city of Khan Yunis as their bombardment of the territory continues. Over 100 Palestinians thought to have been killed in recent days as the heaviest strikes have been focused on the Jabalia refugee camp in the north of Gaza. The Israeli military said they had issued evacuation orders ahead of the attacks. Well, Israel doesn't allow independent access to Gaza for international journalists, for media organisations, including the BBC. The latest group of children who've been evacuated for medical treatment have arrived in Jordan. 4 children and 12 parents flew to the capital, from where our special correspondent Fergal Keane sent this report, and a warning, this report contains upsetting images.
In the late evening light, a journey into the skies. For those who've known only the shrinking ground of Gaza for the last 19 months. Sama, 9 years old, with a brain tumour. What's it like in Gaza?
Horrible. No words can describe how much horrible it is, like on all levels.
This is a happy moment for these children and their parents. They've travelled all day. They've come from a place of hunger and death. Now this helicopter is going to take them to Amman, where they'll get the best possible cancer treatment. Safa Salah with her son Yusuf heading for treatment. She wanted me to read a message. It is hard to imagine what these sights mean to eyes that have looked only on desolation. In the place they left, this, carnage left by a different aircraft. A hospital bombed by Israel. The CCTV camera capturing the moment of impact and aftermath.
Absolutely massive strike on EGH hospital. This is right in front of the emergency room.
The Israelis allege the leader of Hamas was hiding in a bunker under the hospital. 28 people were killed, dozens wounded.
So standing outside the operation theatre, you can see the damage behind me. It's not even possible to take any cases to theatre because it's too dangerous.
In Amman, the families who've escaped for now, the horror of what's happening in Gaza. It is new and strange here, but they will meet other Gazan evacuees who've already come. Like Habiba al-Askari, who was brought to Jordan in January with gangrene in 2 of her arms and a leg. On the chopper to Amman, I saw a child frightened and seriously ill. This is Habiba today. A triple amputee. Doctors could not save her limbs, but she's a determined child and adapting. Her mum Rana wants her someday to go home. To me, Gaza will always be beautiful, the most beautiful place on this earth, says Rana. But home to war or peace, nobody knows. Fergal Keane, BBC News, Amman.
Let's go live now to Jerusalem. Our correspondent Yolande Nell is there. Yolande, can we start with the strikes overnight? What more do we know?
Well, we've been hearing from the Palestinian Red Crescent that at least 36 bodies were taken to hospitals in the south of the Gaza Strip. That's where there have been the most intense strikes in and around Khan Yunis overnight. We're also hearing that there were 5 killed in Jabalia in the north of the Strip, that 3 bodies were retrieved from a house in Gaza City as well. But really, we're told something like 9 Israeli strikes have been reported in the Khan Yunis area, and Nasser Hospital, the main hospital there, has been just overwhelmed. The corridors now crowded with casualties. This with a real severe shortage, of course, of medical supplies and medicines. And at the same time, the morgue there is full, local journalists are saying. We've not heard from the Israeli military specifically what it was targeting, but in general, it's been saying that in recent days, with the intense bombardment we've seen of Gaza this week, it's going after Hamas, including Hamas figures and what it calls terrorist infrastructure.
Yeah, Yolande, just briefly remind us, what is this latest phase? What have the Israelis set out as their objectives with these strikes?
I mean, these strikes have been taking place this week as President Trump has been continuing his visit to the region. And also, as we've got ceasefire and hostage release talks taking place once again in Doha, the Israeli government has said that any talks that take place now will take place under fire. In terms of Israel's military objectives, there's been a lot of reporting in the Israeli media that the head of the Hamas military wing, Mohammed Sinwar, the younger brother of the assassinated leader of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, was killed in a strike on the Gaza European Hospital, a particularly deadly strike there earlier this week. There's been no confirmation of that from Hamas or from the Israeli military. We've also had Israel putting out new evacuation orders for parts of Gaza City that have caused a lot of panic. They affect an area where thousands of people are staying. They affect the Shifa Hospital, the Islamic University, which is being used as a shelter, and schools being used as shelters for displaced people as well. In the western part of Gaza City, that's become crowded with people who've moved there from the east to flee from Israel's military offensives there. And the Israeli military put out a statement saying that it had intelligence about 7 figures from Hamas and Islamic Jihad, senior figures, it says, were operating in that area and telling people really that they should leave, civilians should leave for their own safety.
Yolande, thank you for that.